everyone. Welcome back to our channel India Business Insights. Thermal power is an important component of our energy mix. As of October 2023, India has a total thermal installed capacity of 239.07 gigawatts, of which 206.82 is the installed capacity of coal and the rest from lignite, diesel, and gas. So, while we have multiple other sources of energy, thermal power, because of its unique characteristics where it can quickly produce energy on demand, remains the most important source of power. Also, since coal is available in relative abundance, it is one of the most important sources of energy even today, even though it has been considered highly polluting. While at one time the world thought that we could do away with coal and shift to cleaner power, multiple events have told us that it may take several decades for us to phase it out. So, it is well recognized that our focus has to be on making the production of thermal power more efficient and less polluting. In this video, we'll look at how we can do this through regulation and have a better balance between growth and environmental concerns. We'll also take up the case of Vindhya Super Thermal Power Station, which faced severe penalties due to non compliances. Thereafter, how it implemented modernization and pollution control technologies to be fully compliant now. Before we go further, please like and subscribe to our channel. Do not forget to press the notification bell as well. Let us look at thermal power plants and their journey towards environmental compliance. First, let's understand what thermal power plants are and how they function. Thermal power plants in India are a major component of the country's energy landscape, contributing significantly to its electricity generation. Here are some key aspects. First, fuel mix. While coal remains the predominant fuel for thermal power plants in India, there has been a growing emphasis on diversifying the fuel mix. In recent years, efforts have also been made to increase the share of renewable energy sources and reduce dependence on fossil fuels. This shift aligns with India's commitment to sustainable and cleaner energy practices. Number two, capacity and growth. India has witnessed substantial growth in its thermal power capacity over the years. The construction and commissioning of new thermal power plants have been vital to meeting the increasing electricity demand driven by industrialization, urbanization, and a growing population. Number three, environmental concerns. The environmental impact of thermal power plants, particularly those using coal, has raised concerns. Emissions of pollutants such as sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxides, particulate matter, and greenhouse gases contribute to air pollution and climate change. This has led to regulatory measures including tighter emission norms and the requirement for technologies like flue gas desulfurization to mitigate environmental impact. Emission norms and compliance. The government has introduced emission norms to regulate the pollutants released by thermal power plants. Compliance with these norms is monitored by agencies like the Central Pollution Control Board. However, challenges in meeting these norms, as highlighted in the provided information, have led to revisions in deadlines and raised questions about the effectiveness of regulatory measures. Fifth is categorization and deadlines. The categorization of thermal power plants into A, B, and C categories based on geographical criteria and population density reflects an attempt to customize regulatory requirements. The deadlines for compliance vary across these categories, aiming to address regional and environmental considerations. Sixth is renewable integration. India's energy landscape is evolving with an increased focus on renewable energy sources like solar and wind. The integration of renewable energy into the power mix is gradually reducing the reliance on conventional thermal power plants and aligning with sustainability goals. The Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, along with the Central Pollution Control Board, has laid down some strict emission norms. For tackling sulfur dioxide emissions, thermal power plants are gearing up with the flue gas desulfurization equipment. Let's delve into the environmental regulations governing thermal power plants. For those commissioned after June 1st, 1999, situated near rivers or lakes, the mandate is clear. Installation of cooling towers is a must. However, if seawater is used, there's a strict cap on the temperature rise at the final discharge point, not exceeding 10 degrees Celsius. When it comes to water consumption, standards set on December 7, 2015 are notable. Plants operating on once through cooling or OTC are required to install cooling towers ensuring a maximum water consumption of 3.5 cubic meters or megawatts. For new plants coming into play after January 1st, 2017, the bar is set even higher, a maximum water consumption of 2.5 cubic meters or megawatts with zero wastewater discharge. Emission standards have undergone evolution. Existing plans before December 31st, 2003 have specific limits for particulate matter and sulfur dioxide. New standards effective from December 31st, 2016 vary based on the installation date of the thermal power plants. Considering the stack height requirements, there is a nuanced approach based on the capacity of boilers. For those exceeding 500 meters, the recommendation is the provision of space for installing flue gas desulfurization systems. The use of beneficiated coal is encouraged as a means to minimize fly ash generation, particularly in specific conditions regarding distance from the pit head and the installation's characteristics. The accumulation of fly ash mountains at power plants is also a huge environmental concern. Targets have been set for existing and new thermal power stations to progressively increase their usage of fly ash within stipulated timeframes. Moreover, there are mandatory directives for construction agencies within a 300-kilometer radius to utilize only fly ash based products. In essence, these regulations reflect a comprehensive effort to balance power generation with environmental sustainability, emphasizing water conservation, emission control, and responsible waste management practices. Let us look at the timelines for compliance of these regulations. Category A plants located within 10 kilometers of the national capital region or million plus population cities need to comply by December 31st, 2024. Category B, within 10 kilometers of critically polluted areas or non attainment cities, have until December 31st, 2025. And for Category C, while others have a bit more time until December 31st, 2026. The emission norms for coal thermal power plants in India have faced challenges, with compliance deadlines being revised multiple times. The categorization into three groups A, B, and C based on geographical criteria and population density has been criticized for its perceived lack of seriousness. As of December 2021, the compliance status reveals that 35% of total coal power capacity across all categories is likely to miss their respective deadlines. Category A, with a 2022 deadline, shows slow progress, while Category B, due in 2023, faces challenges with 35% expected to miss the deadline. Category C, with a 2024 deadline, already has 33% of the capacity awarded tender, but uncertainties remain for 22%. The implementation of emission norms, particularly SOx norms, has been hindered by delays and revisions, leading to concerns about the effectiveness of the regulatory measures. This time, the MOEF and CC has a prescribed some hefty environment compensation for non compliant thermal power plants. So it's not just about deadlines, there are consequences too. Here's the breakdown for the first 180 days of non-compliance. There's an environmental compensation of rupees 0.20 per unit of electricity generated. From day 181 to 365, it bumps up to rupees 0.30. And if the non-compliance extends beyond 365 days, then it gets ready for 0.40 per unit. Now, let us talk about the heroes of the story. 22 units across various states, boasting a total capacity of 9,280 megawatts, have embraced the flue gas desulfurization equipment. And here's a state wise list. It has states like Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, and many more. There's more to the story. The additional cost due to FGD installation might affect your tariff. The Regulatory Commission will decide if it's a pass through. Regarding the Central Pollution Control Board's report starting non compliance with stricter emission norms for power plants commissioned post January 2017. The Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change issued new environmental norms on December 7, 2015. Compliance deadlines were set for plants installed before December 31st, 2003 and those installed from January 1st, 2017 onwards. Retrofits such as upgrading electrostatic precipitators and installing flue gas desulfurization systems are required for adherence to these norms. While the Ministry of Power doesn't have jurisdiction over setting up or operating thermal power plants, the MOEF and CC mandates environmental clearances before construction and consent to operate from state pollution control boards before operations. A phased plan for implementing pollution control measures from 2018 to 2022 was submitted by the Central Electricity Authority. Compliance directions were issued to power plants, and state boards granted consent to operate based on the revised timelines. For plants commissioned after January 1st, 2017, environmental clearances were obtained before the new norms. State pollution control boards have granted consent to operate, ensuring compliance with environmental norms. It is emphasized that thermal power plants receiving environmental clearance after December 7, 2015 will adhere to the new norms. The installation of FGD systems have been slower than desired. It takes about 2 years, and the analysis estimates that a significant portion of capacity may not meet emission norms by 2024, 2025, and 2026 deadlines. The challenges in monitoring this compliance includes deadline extensions, lack of reported capacity by the Central Electricity Authority, and challenges faced by power generation companies. Now let us look at Vindhyachal Super Thermal Power Station, a colossal 4,760 megawatt coal-fired project located in the heart of Madhya Pradesh, India. We'll look at the various environmental concerns that it has raised. This powerhouse is currently active and has quite a history. Commissioned in October 1987, this mega project is owned by NTPC. The development happened in phases, with Bharat Heavy Electricals taking the lead in providing top notch engineering, procurement, and construction services for various stages. Electrosila stepped up to the plate, supplying electric generators for different units from stage 1 to stage 6. The project kicked off in multiple phases and reached its full glory in October 1987. Taken Rock Boiler Making Works Kranzi Kotelshik stepped in, providing steam boilers that keep the energy flowing. This steam turbine power plant is all about base load running on a dual fuel system. Coal is sourced from Nagahi mines, but if there's a shortage, no worries. It can seamlessly switch to fuel oil. The Vindhyachal STPS was developed in 5 stages and comprises of 13 generating units. The plant commenced operation with the commissioning of its first unit in 1987, while the last unit was commissioned in 2015. The Vindhyachal Super Thermal Power Station is owned by NTPC Limited, which is the authority responsible for the power station. The Vindhyachal Super Thermal Power Station has been operational for several decades. The power station has been a significant contributor to the Indian power sector, providing a reliable source of electricity to the grid. The Vindhyachal STPS supplies power to the states of Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Goa, Daman and Diu, as well as Dadra and Nagar Haveli. Coal for the Vindhyachal STPS is sourced from the Nagahi and Dudhichua coal mines, a subsidiary of state-owned Coal India. The power station uses water from the discharge canal of the nearby Singrauli Vindhyachal HVDC link upgrade, a 30-year-old HVDC transmission system being upgraded with the installation of new thyristors. The 500 megawatt Vindhyachal back to commission in 1989, the Vindhyachal HVDC is the first HVDC transmission link to be built in India. The Indian power system is divided into 5 independent regional power grids, and the Vindhyachal back-to-back HVDC station interconnects the 400 kilowatt AC networks of the northern and western regions. Environmental concerns. The thermal power plant has raised significant environmental concerns due to its impact on the air, water, and soil. Emissions from the plant, including acidic gases, particulates, organics, and heavy metals, have been identified as major contributors to air pollution, posing the serious threats to the surrounding environment and living organisms. Additionally, the plant's operations have been linked to the pollution of water and soil in the region, with studies highlighting the presence of heavy metals in the vicinity of the coal fired thermal power plant. The overall environmental impacts of the Vindhyachal Super Thermal Power Project have been observed in the form of deforestation, water and air pollution, changing patterns of rainfall, and the depletion of the local water balance. Furthermore, the adverse effects of coal power plants on the environment, including soil, surface water, groundwater, and air, have been critically evaluated, emphasizing the potential risks to nearby residential communities. These findings underscore the need for effective measures to address the environmental concerns associated with the Vindhyachal thermal power plant and mitigate its impact on the surrounding ecosystem. On 2020, the National Green Tribunal or NGT had imposed an environmental compensation of Rs 4 crore on NTPC's Vindhyachal Super Thermal Power Station in Singrauli and Sonebhadra districts for damaging the environment. The NGT noted that the plant's operations had led to the pollution of surface and underground water affecting rivers, streams, and nalas in the region. The violation of environmental norms was attributed to the plant's emissions, including acidic gases, particulates, organics, and heavy metals, which pose serious threats to the environment and living organisms. The NGT's order aimed to hold the plant accountable for the environmental damage caused by its activities and to deter future violations. However, the Supreme Court stayed the recovery of this penalty in response to an appeal filed by the plant against the NGT's order. The NGT had levied the penalty, noting that the violation of environmental norms was resulting in damage caused to water bodies, including the Rihan Reservoir. The Vindhyachal Thermal Power Plant has implemented several measures to address environmental concerns. The plant has installed equipment such as flue gas desulfurization units to control emissions of acidic gases and particulates, reducing air pollution. Additionally, the plant has an effluent treatment plant for the treatment of plant effluents, addressing concerns related to water pollution. The implementation of these measures reflects the plant's commitment to mitigating its environmental impact and complying with environmental regulations. Ongoing environmental monitoring programs further demonstrate the plant's efforts to track and address its environmental performance. These measures are crucial for minimizing the plant's impact on the surrounding air, water, and soil, and for promoting sustainable and responsible operation of the power plant. The environmental clearance to Vindhyachal Super Thermal Power Project Stage 5 was accorded by MOEF and CC on 2nd of May 2012, and the environmental clearance accorded was valid for a period of 5 years to start operations by the power plant. Additionally, the executive summary of environmental impact assessment for Vindhyachal Super Thermal Power Project Stage 5 was prepared in August 2010. A report was prepared to assess the overall environmental impacts of the Vindhyachal Super Thermal Power Project. The National Green Tribunal had previously come down heavily on power plants not complying with 100% fly ash utilization norms and facing penalties. In 2019, major incidents of ash breach occurred at NTPC Vindhyachal and the Essar power plant in Madhya Pradesh's Singrauli district. The NGT formed a committee to assess the cost of environmental damage due to these incidents, and the committee submitted its report to the NGT on September 6, 2020. The report estimated the environmental damage cost for SR to Rs 7.35 crore and for NTPC Vindhyachal at Rs 104 crore. The NGT had previously directed thermal power plants to take prompt steps for scientific disposal of fly ash, warning that failure to do so would lead to penalties. The Central Pollution Control Board issued notices to various non compliant power plants and submitted a compliance report on 2020. The report mentioned that out of 112 power plants, only two paid the compensation. The Vindhyachal HVDC modernization project, initiated in April 2019, involved Siemens under a contractual agreement. BHEL took charge of designing, supplying, and commissioning all seven 500 megawatt units within the power station. Russian companies LMZ and Electrosila played a pivotal role by providing the essential power generating equipment for the initial six 210 megawatt units. For the final 500 megawatt units, GE was responsible for supplying and installing the WFGD system, contributing to the plant's efficiency. Environmental upgrades on the older units were undertaken with the collaboration of L&T and Alstom. The development of transmission infrastructure fell under the expertise of ABB, ensuring a robust network for the Vindhyachal STPS. Additionally, TRF, formerly that is Tata Robbins Fraser, was engaged to handle the design and construction of the coal handling plant, a crucial component of the Vindhyachal STPS project. Now, let us have a project overview. The project involves a coal based thermal power plant with subcritical boiler and enhanced steam parameters. Second, cooling water is drawn from the NTPC Shakti Nagar outfall channel, which in turn is fed by the Rihan Reservoir. Third, Negahi coal mines of NCL supply the main coal transported exclusively by rail using NTPC owned racks through the merry-go-round system. The Minister of State, that is Independent Charge for Power and New and Renewable Energy, Shri R.K. Singh, provided a response to the questions regarding thermal power plants. The details of projects commissioned from January 2017 to the present are provided in Annexure 1. Sustainable Practices and Environmental Compliance Overview at NTPC Vindhyachal Power Station. Electrostatic precipitators with 99.96% efficiency are operational, and maintenance has reduced emissions below 75 milligrams. A 275-meter twin flue stack disperses emissions effectively. Space allocated for flue gas desulfurization pending installation based on ministry decisions. Closed cycle cooling system with 100% capacity prevents tar discharge. Effluent treatment plant recycles plant effluent ash water is 100% recirculated. CEMS monitors SPM, sulfur and nitrogen dioxide, online regular monitoring for environmental parameters and noise compliance. Green Belt Plan submitted ongoing tree planting initiatives with over 23 lakh trees planted. Fire detection and protection system installed comprehensive on-site emergency plan for fire and explosion hazards. Ongoing work for an inventory study of industries around Rihan Reservoir for water and air emissions. Environmental Cell ensures compliance with stipulations EIA report submitted. Regular monitoring of flora, fauna, lake sediments, and a detailed rehabilitation plan. Environmental Impact Assessment report for the Singrauli region submitted. Compliance with condition under Water Act 1974, Air Act 1981, and Environmental Protection Act 1986. Project authorities to suggest alternate ash disposal locations, acoustic enclosures control noise levels. The ministry may vary or impose new conditions, clearance may revoke for non implementation. Regular monitoring of environmental parameters, adequate financial setup for stipulation implementation. 85,000 saplings planted in the current financial year. MOU with MPR VVN for 50,000 trees annually for 10 years. Environmental management plans. A tall stack facilitates wider dispersion of flue gases. Second, high efficiency ESP is in place. Continuous emissioning monitoring system on the stack monitors PM, SOX, and NOx. Effluent treatment plant, sewage treatment plant, and ash water recirculation systems ensures 100% process water recirculation. Project area breakup. Total area for all stages of the Vindhyachal project is 5,999 acres. Submergence area is 951 acres, including forest and non-forest, and others include 5,048 acres. Project affected population. Breakup includes those losing houses, dwelling units, agricultural land, and landless laborers or artisans for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes or Adivasi and others. Financial details. The project cost for stage 2 as of 31st of March 2020 is rupees 2670.77 crores. Actual expenditure on environmental management at NTPC Vindhyachal is rupees 2390 crore up to 31st March 2020. No forest land is involved. Environmental management cost is rupees 2000 crore total for all stages of VSTPS. Benefit cost or ratio upon internal rate of return assessment. Construction status. Commencement STG 1 and 2 started together. Completion ongoing planning. Project affected population. The scheduled caste are 1040, scheduled tribes are 365, and others are 2051. Fast forward to today, the Vindhyachal Super Thermal Power Station still stands tall. In conclusion, navigating the landscape of thermal power plants in India involves a delicate balance between meeting the nation's growing energy demands and addressing environmental concerns, as well as adhering to evolving regulatory frameworks. As we move forward, it is crucial for stakeholders to collaborate, innovate, and embrace sustainable practices to shape a cleaner and more resilient energy future. If you found this information valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful updates. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of India's thermal power landscape. Stay informed, stay empowered. Until next time, take care.